Hello everybody, a very warm welcome back to the MEC-TEC garage. We are back on the old Alfa today, and things have been happening in the background. Whilst I've been working on the Lotus engine, I've also been working on the Alfa as well with my mate Scoot. He is now back off holiday and we have been cracking on with the jobs. So we're going to get straight back into the action from where we left off with that front bumper. We need to get that all rubbed down and all the guide coat gone on that so it was all nice and smooth, and then I'll show you exactly where we're at with everything else. We may have got a little bit carried away. We could have got more carried away, but we have done a fair bit more work than was initially planned, shall we say. So let's crack on, get back into the action, and I'll show you exactly what we've been doing. Right, as you can see, we're now working on the back end of the car. I've decided that we're going to do the rear end as well. So Scoot has done a little bit of magic with the old painter's dent repair on that to get the most of that dent out of the tailgate. It's not absolutely perfect, but we're obviously going to have to paint it and put a little skimmer filler in there anyway, because the paint was already broken. So that bit has been repaired as best as possible at the moment. We're now going to take the rear bumper off and dress this dent in the rear bumper as well, and in that trim there hopefully. So it's got a Torx bit there, a Torx bit there, one up in each arch, I think. I'm only winging this, so I don't really know because I've not actually done it yet, but I think there's a Torx bit up in there, as you can just about see it there. There it is, and I'll probably a couple of clips underneath. So I'm going to buzz this off quickly, and we'll have a little look at it once we get it off the car. Right, this has taken an absolute age. I'm trying to get this rear bumper off. Now it's got, let me just show you. It's got a Torx bit in here as I showed you before, and one over there, one up in each arch line as I showed you. There's also 3 screws in each arch liner, which only one of this side has come undone. The other 2 just literally spun off, as you can see there. They ripped the plastic off the bumper, which is superb. Not. Then underneath here there is another Phillips screw, which immediately ripped off as soon as I tried to turn it because it was rusty and just ripped the plastic. It's the same with this side under here. And then underneath the bottom here, I think, hang on a second, there's a couple more of those torques there. One there and one over that side near the exhaust. So if I undo those two, I think then I'm going to be in a position where the bumper should come off hopefully. So let's get those two undone and we'll see what we've got underneath. Rightio, we've now got the rear bumper off as you can see, and the news is good. There's no damage behind it at all. The only thing that's missing, which was the remnants of in the middle there where those two holes are, there should be a foam damper in there which is gone. I actually pulled a bit of that out when I very first bought the car that was hanging down underneath the bumper, so it's obviously had a little nudge and that's obviously fallen out and obviously gone, but so we need to get a new, possibly need to get a new one of those. But the rear panel and cross member are in absolutely fine condition, so that is really, really good. This has sort of progressed a little bit since obviously I was doing the front, and now going to do the back as well, just because it looked tatty and the rear bumper and the tailgate sort of spoilt a little bit. So we've got the rear bumper off in here as you can see. This is going to need heating up from the back. This is the plastic trim on the back. It's got a dent about there which we're going to need to heat up and sort out. Same on the front here. Obviously you can see it's got a crack in the bumper there and a little dent running right the way down where it's hit a post or whatever else. Same down here as well below the number plate, so that's going to need repairing too. It's got some spider cracks over there where it's obviously been nudged as well. You can just about see those on camera hopefully in the light there. So that is that. So we're going to have to repair those. That will just be probably paint damage more than anything else. These obviously need repairing and maybe a little bit of filler in them to obviously get those right. I'm going to put some heat on them first to get them out as best as we possibly can, so it needs very minimal filler. On the front of the car, I'll just show you. Hang on a second, I've just got to put the bonnet down. Hang on a sec. We've done a little bit of work on the front. Scooter's done his magic with this. As you can see, there's a flat spot there now. Now before, that was where that dent was, and as you can see, it's now completely gone. He's done his magic with the old paintless dent removal and got all that out and we flatted it down, or he flatted it down after to make sure that the dent is completely gone, and it has. That's really, really good. So that's those gone, or that gone I should say. I'm now going to work on the rust on this corner because there's a little globular rust just there in the light. I'm going to give that a buzz down with my little belt sander and put some treatment on it. And we've also taken the sealer off from the inside, and as you can see the rust does go under the seam a little bit there, but we have, looks like we've caught it just in time. So I'm going to give that a proper good old clean up with a wire brush and a drill, give it a load of treatment, and then obviously hopefully it should hold that back for a long time with any luck. So let's get that buzz back with the drill and the wire brush, and I'll show you what we end up with. Right, there is our bonnet after a little bit of rubbing down with the old wire brush and a drill and a bit of neutral rust. I have bent this lip out slightly further along, as you can see there, just so I could get right in between that lip and the panel to obviously get as much neutral rust in there as I could. It has unfortunately broken the surface on the other side slightly, as you can see there. Hopefully I've got the neutral rust in that as well, so with any luck that will hold it back. We're probably just going to put a little skim of fiberglass over that just to hold it back. I'm not going to go mad with it, not going to start welding or anything like that because it's not worth it. The metal is way for thin anyway because it's an Alfa, so I think we're just going to be causing work for ourselves if we do that. So I'm going to leave it like that, tap that. I want to get another, probably put another coat of neutral rust under there just to make sure that it's double coated, and then we'll tap that back down. We'll re-seam seal this over the top like it should be, and obviously it's treated from both sides then. A little skim of fiberglass on the other side and we should be good to go. And then we can start getting this bonnet all prepped and get rid of all the stone chips. Absolutely marvellous. Let's crack on. Rightio, I've got the textured piece off the bumper now, as you can see there. It's held on around the edge with clips, and then it's got a 8mm at each end and one in the middle on the bumper there. That one looks like it's actually, no, it hasn't snapped, that's all right. Yes, it has snapped, unfortunately. That one's snapped off, so it may be that this needs a new trim. I'm not really sure. It's got quite a bit of damage on it. I was going to try a bit of heat in the middle there and just see if we could heat that up, get that looking a bit better, and maybe with these bits as well. We'll see what we can do with a heat gun, see how it comes out, and then obviously we can decide whether we want to get a new one or not, or whether we want to keep this one. Here's a tad on the broken side here as well, so it may be worth, if we can find one, getting another one. We'll see. Let's have a little play with this with a heat gun, see what we can do. Right, I've just come over this morning and Scooter's done another sterling job on this. Look, little repair on that bumper there. Absolutely spot on, perfect. Look at that. Could not get that any better if he tried. And he's going to have a go at the tailgate now as well. So I'll give you a little update on that when it's looking good. Look at this. Blink for 2 minutes and Scoot's done another bit. As you can see there, the tailgate is now in filler and primer. So that is all repaired really, really good. Absolutely mega. Got that line back nice on the edge. So I'm assuming that's going to want rubbing down now, which will probably be my job. That's alright, I can do that. And carry on from there, I guess. I'm assuming we might get a little bit of fiberglass in the bonnet in a minute, because I've got to do that bit next, I think. So it's all going on. We're jumping around the car a lot in this video, I know, but it's all happening in different times and different places, so I've got to keep up with what's going on. I didn't notice this over here on the floor. He's also got the bumper in primer as well. How about that? So the bumper is now all looking straight again. No more manky dents where it will reverse into that post. So that is absolutely mega. He said he probably could have got away with just doing that little centre section, but there were some other cracks in the paint and whatever else over here. So he said, well, you might as well do the whole thing. There's no point in faffing about. So we're doing the whole thing. So that's going to look absolutely mint once it's done. Absolutely top banana. Right, there we go. There is our bonnet all rubbed down and all the stone chips gotten rid of as best as I possibly can. It looks like camo paintwork now, as you can see. But that is all ready to be primed. Now we're going to filler prime this the same as we did on the bumper. To obviously get rid of any imperfections that may be still in the panel. There's probably going to be a couple that I've missed, I would have thought. But I've got the majority of them, so that's the main thing. It'll make it a lot smoother going when we obviously get the filler primer on there and flat that back as well. I'm going to move on to the wings, I think, now, and get those front edge of those prepped and get rid of the stone chips out of them. Right, a little update on the Mito for you. We have got the tailgate now all stripped and scotched back with a grey scotch pad. A little bit there I've missed, I've got to do that. We've only gone up to this edge because we're going to be masking off this edge when we paint it. However, obviously the dent's been repaired, but then I remembered it had these rust spots in it. I've got one there and 3 over here. So I've buzzed them back. We're going to put a little bit of filler in them just to make sure that there's no undulation in where we rubbed them back. A little bit of spot primer on those, and then we'll obviously refloat it back again, and that will be the tailgate all repaired. So that is done pretty much. Then going down this side, I'm sorry about the wind noise. I've got the wing all prepped all over now. There's a bit of rust down the bottom edge there which I've rubbed back, and I put some rust, neutral rust on. So that is all being treated as we speak. It's drying at the moment. I'm going to put some stone chip up this edge. Sorry, I'm not looking at the camera. Stone chip up this edge to obviously aid that from not chipping again, hopefully. This has all been rubbed back with 800 wet and dry, so that is all flatted back. Same with this side, all been flatted back in the primed area with 800 wet and dry. Rest of the wing has all been scotched off with a green scotch pad. We've got the badges off the wings as well, so they're all good to go. I haven't got a mask any of that up. I've done the same this side with a little bit of rust on that bottom edge of that wing there. Cleaned it all back up, put some rust, neutral rust preventative on there to obviously kill that hopefully, or hold it back at least. And that is obviously all drying as we speak, so that's that. Coming over here, the bumper, I've re-rubbed it back. We put a load of spot putty in it because it had all little marks and chips and things in the what am I trying to say, in the filler primer, with a few little imperfections. So we put some spot putty in a few places. There's a little bit there I've got to rub down. I'll rub that down in a second. I'm going to go over this again and make sure that I've not missed any bits, because we don't want to start putting it in paint and then realise that we've obviously missed bits. But that is all ready to go. Rear bumper over here is all rubbed down all over now. As you can see, I've got rid of all the manky, horrible paint that was on there, and the manky lacquer that was all peeling off everywhere. Got that back as best as we possibly can. I've done all the prep work myself to obviously try and aid the cost of doing all this, and Scoot's been helping me in between doing the repairs and filler and primer and all that sort of thing. So it's been a bit total joint effort, and we are slowly getting there, so that is really good. So that is where we're at on the Mito at the moment. Let's crack on. Right, there we go. Behind the scenes, Scooter's filler primed the bonnet for me and put a guide coat on it. And as you would have just seen, I've been sitting here furiously rubbing it down with wet and dry, 800 grit wet and dry, to get it absolutely as smooth as glass. And you can see by the reflection that obviously where it's still wet, it is lovely and smooth now. Now I purposely left obviously half and half so you can see what you're aiming for with a guide coat. Basically you've got to get rid of the guide coat completely, and then whatever you're left with underneath as far as primaries should be in theory completely flat. So that is what you're aiming for. Obviously it does get a bit thin in places. Don't worry too much about that, because when you paint it obviously that'll get covered anyway, but obviously try not to go through too much. The bit of rust we had on the front there is now completely gone. I'll show you the back side of that in a minute once I've finished rubbing down the rest of the bonnet. We've resealed, or rather Scoot's resealed all that, and obviously sorted all that out, so that's really good. So there we go. I'm going to carry on rubbing this down, get it all as flat as possible, and hopefully it should make for a really nice paint job. Let's crack on. Right, here we go. Today is the day the Alfa is going to get paint. Well, in the morning it's going to get painted. So today we've got the car and all the bits in. As you can see, we had a massive clear out in the workshop, massive sweep up, all blown all the dust out and all that sort of thing. And the car is all masked up, ready to go. We're just doing the final few bits at the back of the car with the paper going on there. Just got to do a few little bits of masking around here. Got the bonnet hanging up there, ready to go. That's all been wet flatted, as you've seen. Obviously you've seen the bumpers being done, they're all on trestles ready to go as well. So in the morning when it's a little bit cooler, first thing, we're going to be out here and we're going to get this thing painted, or rather scooted I should say. So that is going to be absolutely mega, and then it's going to be down to me to put it all back together once I've flat and polished it. So right, we shall carry on getting this all masked up and come back to you in the morning when we're ready to go. Right, it is the next morning and Scoot has done one on me and surprised me. Look, he's painted it all last night without me realising. How cool is this? All freshly done. There you go. This is mega. How much better is that compared to what it was before? It is. I love it when you get a freshly painted car. This was terrible beforehand, and now it's mega shiny. Just started unmasking it. So there we go, the Alfa is all painted. Now the task falls to me to start putting it all back together again. Look at that shine. Absolutely mega, and that's out the gun as well, so that is really good. So we'll do obviously flat and polish on it. I think I'm going to do that, and I Scoot? Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to do a flat and polish on it, because Scoot hates that job. And then we'll be like a mirror. I know it's a bit difficult to see in the light with that bonnet, but you can see how the shine on it from the side there. It is absolutely superb. Right, I'm going to get this unmasked and get it out of Scoot's way. Right then, I am going to leave it on a cliffhanger there and make you wait until the next video to see the Alfa bodywork once it is all polished. I haven't done the bumpers as yet because obviously they really need to be on the car, so they don't go everywhere and wobble about and all the rest of it when we are flattening and polishing them. So next jobs on the Alfa is going to be obviously starting to get it put back together again, get all the bits put back on the bumpers, get the bumpers back on the car, etc, etc. That is going to be in the next video, so you'll have to wait until then to see how it all looks when now it is all painted. But I have to say a massive thank you to Scoot. He's done a mega job on that car, surprising me doing it the night before. He got a bit bored that evening and thought, I'm going to go and paint the Alfa. So he went out there and painted it without me even knowing. I walked over there the next morning, and if you saw the video as I walked in the workshop, that was me first time me seeing it. So there we go. You'll see I've got some insulation panels on the roof of the van over there. They have come courtesy of my dad from up in Norfolk for the shed build. I'm hopefully going to get on that and finish that roof very, very soon. Once the Alfa's back together, most probably I want to crack on with that, get that all done, and then we can start getting things organised, because at the moment things are a lot tidier than they were, but still in a bit of chaos. So that is going to be for the roof for that, to obviously insulate the roof and give me a bit more sort of heat in the winter and keep it a bit cooler in the summer as well. So that is the idea for that. If you do like this video, make sure you do 4 things for me: like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell. It's all free, it costs you absolutely nothing, and I really, really do appreciate it. It makes a massive difference to the channel. And all that's left me to say is thank you very much. We can't talk. Let me say that again. All that's left me to say is thank you very much for watching. And if you want to join me soon for more automotive adventures, I will see you again next time. Cheers, guys.